Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast. My name is Jai Gobind and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys for watching the replay. Thank you for being here live, everybody that's here live, and thank you also for giving the video a thumbs up and also hitting that notification bell when you subscribe so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. Let's see who's in the chat. Hello. Morning Star and Sparky and Wendy and Alexa, Valerie, Mel's, Brittany, hey Kara. Thank you guys for being here. It feels like it's been a while since I've been live on a broadcast, but I'm excited to be here and to talk about this new moon that is coming. So fast, right? Doesn't it feel like we just went through the full moon in Cancer? When I was going through the astrology of this moon, I realized it almost feels, the energy that I feel is we're kind of going through this weird transitional period, and we're all feeling the friction of the transition, and we're not really sure what's going on. And you'll see it, you'll see what I mean when we go through the chart. But that's kind of how I've been feeling. It's kind of I feel a little bit like I'm in limbo, in between spaces. Hey Christina G, hey Heather, hello from Massachusetts, welcome in. And those of you guys that don't normally say anything in the chat, welcome. I know you guys are there and watching. Love the pink. Pink is my favorite. I have pink nails right now. You can't even really see them, but they're pink, and everything's pink, you guys. I have a pink purse and a pink wallet and a pink water bottle. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, I am also a little bit tired. I have been also working really hard to get a lot of things ready and prepared. And although these are very exciting times, I think sometimes we need to really remember to take care of ourselves. And today is, to me, is one of those days. I've just been kind of relaxing and letting myself, rest when I need to rest. And especially when we get emotional or commotional, or we just don't understand what's really going on, I think we can tend to push ourselves really hard, and that's not really the way that's going to help us. And the pink singing bowl, exactly. It's not really the way that's going to help us move forward into the future, which is what this new moon is all about. So before we get into the actual discussion of the moon, I want to remind you guys, there's still time to sign up for the Moon Goddess training. I am so excited. We start on Thursday evening, and we're going to do our introductions and talk about like the whole 6-week program and the schedule and everything like that, and introduce ourselves and kind of lay it out and see what do we really want to learn, what do we really want to get out of this program. And I'm doing this program a little bit different than I've done any other program before, and that's the part that I'm most excited about. So yes, you're going to learn about the moon phases. Yes, you're going to learn about, your astrology as it relates to the sacred divine feminine and your psychic moon gifts and your intuition and the moon itself in the sign that it's in and the aspects that are being made to your moon in your chart. Yes, we're going to talk about the moon centers and what they are and how they affect you and how you can figure out your moon center cycle. And yes, we're going to talk about creating altars and actually using our intuition and what does that even mean, and like all of those things we're going to talk about and we're going to learn. But the thing that's going to be the most exciting for me anyways is the fact that I want to open it up to a lot of discussion and a lot of healing. And I want to invite you to join in this space with us, and it's a healing space that will open up the doors for us to really discover ourselves and dive deep into what we truly want in life. So even though we're focusing on the sacred divine feminine and the goddess and embodying the goddess, which is basically the high priestess in a way, we are also stepping into our power and our purpose as we figure these things out. Hey Karina, and speaking of, you just came in the room, so I'm going to remind the ladies that the last time I did the Moon Goddess training was a year ago. Literally, this is the second one, and the last one was last year in January during eclipse season. And this year, we're using the same Facebook group. So if you did the Moon Goddess training last year, you're in the group already, and I am opening it up and inviting you to join us in the Zoom chats, in the Zoom calls, so we can have even bigger party. But I just want to remind you guys, if you did do the Moon Goddess training last year, you actually get access to the Zoom calls this year. And we also would love to hear from you about, what it's been like, your journey for this last year after doing the Moon Goddess training. So there's still time to sign up, you guys. And the way that you do is you send me, it's an application process. The details are in the description of the video. There's a few questions I want you to answer. And also, exactly, Dawn. And also, after I get your application, I'll send you the PayPal link and add you to the group and all of that stuff. So if you're curious, if you're in a place right now where you really want, I would say if you really want to discover like purpose and step into healing and uncover, like peel the layers off of what's not working in your life and how you can start to make it work, definitely look into the Moon Goddess training. And it is 6 weeks and it is online, and you can really do it from anywhere in the world. I've had people do my courses all the way from England and Australia, and also, what was that other place? Can't remember. Where was she at? Oh, I can't remember. Somewhere in Europe, anyways. But it's really cool. It really it reminds you of how connected we really are, even though we're all like really far away from each other. Kind of. You know what I mean? Not really. In a physical way. But anyways, that's happening. The other day, Jason and I decided to start doing working together in a whole new way this year. And one of the things that we're going to start doing, if you don't know Jason, he is his YouTube channel is Ray of Light Tarot. Make sure you guys follow him. He's an amazing tarot reader, and also on the Twin Flame journey. But we have decided to start doing master classes together. And so our next master class will be focusing on the law of attraction and how to manifest with the law of attraction, what's holding you back from manifesting in your life. And this class will be on Sunday, February 2nd. The link to sign up is in the description of this video as well. It's only $44 to sign up, and it'll be on a Zoom webinar, so you'll be able to ask questions. There will be a chat. And we're really excited about that coming up. Also, remember that I offer astrology readings. So if you want your natal chart read to focus on life purpose, I do a reading that's 108. And I also do an extensive reading that takes me 2 weeks to prepare, where I give you the reports have been turning out to be about 30 pages long, and we spend an hour and a half going through everything in your chart. Those are $333, and you can sign up for those through my website, which is channelforgrace.guru. And my Etsy shop is still going there. I have some really cool tantric malas, and they're used for meditation, and a lot of necklaces and sacred jewelry to help you connect with the natural frequencies of stones, because I use crystals. But I have a coupon you can use on my Etsy shop for the rest of January, and it's JAI 2020. And if you use that coupon, you get 50% off any item in the store. And one more thing, okay? So I have been, while I'm getting ready for the Moon Goddess training, I've also been preparing an online course that I'm going to launch, which will be sort of like the mini version or the compact version of the Moon Goddess training, but you won't have, the individual one-on-one access to me or the group. So it's a completely different format. But I have been filming the videos for that. Hey Magali, I have been filming the videos for that, you guys, and I'm going to be launching that course very, very soon. So stay on the lookout for that for more details. And also, tell me what you guys think about this. I am going to start a newsletter / blog. I used to do weekly readings on my YouTube channel, tarot readings, and I want to start doing those again, but I want to do them in a newsletter type of way, and also record a video, but also give you the information for the week ahead astrologically. And I figured one of the coolest ways to do that is to do it through like a blog style releasing. So that is something that I'm working on, and so if you want to get on my email list for that, I will be coming out with the details of that really soon, and also be giving you guys a free guide to your moon magic, or the sign of your moon. So let's talk about this new moon. First of all, I want to ask you guys, what's the energy that you guys are feeling right now? Remember that as we move into a new moon, the moon is waning. Waning, it means it's like it's going, we see less and less of it. And thanks, Alexa. And hey Rebecca, how's it going? So hey babe, how's it going? I saw you in there. Dawn. So that's a funny comment. But the moon is waning, which means that on the day before the new moon is always the darkest day of the moon, and that day can feel a little bit like, you can feel a little bit of friction. You can feel a sense of going inward also, because we're getting ready for a new season. We're getting ready for a new cycle of the moon, and it starts with the new moon, and the new moon is all about setting intentions. So what are the intentions that you want to set, and how are you feeling right now as we move into this energy of Aquarius? By the way, today's Tuesday, right? So yesterday the moon finally moved out of Capricorn, and it's in Aquarius now. So now we're officially in Aquarius season. We're no longer in Capricorn season. I think it might be faster than a video. Yes. Valerie, feeling emotional, unexpected at times. Yes, there's a lot of Uranus activity this week with the moon, especially with the new moon. And that can be the unexpected things coming up. Uranus is about surprises and stuff like that. Sparky, you're feeling sensitive. You know, me too. I have been too. I think we can get triggered really easy. Right now, I think that's what I've been feeling personally, and then also just kind of exhausted. But in a personal way, I'm just, you know what I mean. Like, I hope it's not too much. It's TMI, but I am in my moon cycle right now, so it's just naturally as women we become kind of depleted during that time, and so for me it's more of a personal experience. But I have been feeling like when the sun moved into Aquarius on Monday, I did feel like this this weird like energy shift. Like Sunday was really strange for me, and then on Monday I felt like oh, we're in a different energy now. And then as the days have been progressing, I started my moon, and so I'm exhausted, but I feel like by the end of the week we're going to feel really excited again. And you'll see why, because the astrology for this moon is actually really cool. Yes, the blog. Yes, I knew you were talking about that. Mel's has been feeling super uneasy. Karina, I feel a longing, a wanting, a desire, but I can't put my finger on it. Wow, that's really deep. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And there's an explanation for that with this moon. Anxious and worrying about things things I thought were over. Okay, Tracy's feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, so preparing, tense and excited. Yes, it is a really positive new moon, you guys. So we have to make our little list, you know. I'm still trying, I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna do, because I am actually traveling on Friday. And I was planning on doing the full moon or the new moon ceremony on Thursday evening before I travel on Friday. But I always, I really like doing the ceremonies on the day of the actual full moon and new moon. So I might pre-record it. If I decide to do that, just look out. You'll see it because I'll premiere it. So you'll see when it's going to go live on Friday. But if not, I will actually be going live on Thursday, and it'll be earlier during the day on Thursday, which I know some people can't make that because they work and stuff. So just know that this next new moon, the schedule for the actual broadcast, the ceremony, will be different than usual because I'm going to be traveling. I'm actually going on a trip to do my third. Yeah, I think it's my third weekend of my Pachacuti Mesa training, shamanic training. Kara's been feeling stabby because I was on the wrong. Oh wow, that's kind of gnarly. Heather's feeling really sensitive, emotional, tired, heavy energy. Dawn, I'm saying merry-go-round as usual. Play the drum in the airport. Feeling like something big is on the horizon. Yes, I have definitely. Okay, so Dawn and I have been talking over and over again about this. We're like really excited about the future. Like I swear, I kid you not, we have literally been using that phrase over and over. Like, I am so excited about the future. So what is it about that? Because we're feeling the energy and we really are excited. Like we feel that like really powerful thing coming. And we just know it's coming. And like we don't know exactly how, but we know it's coming. And I have been working on so many different things and projects that are new that I've never done before, but they feel like so the right time to do these things. Just like the Moon Goddess training was. It was like the perfect time to do it. So I just like went and did it. So let's actually get into the chart of this new moon. Let me switch screens real quick so we can talk about it. Like no joke, my whole body was in pain, feel tender, very weird. Like I could feel my own weight. It was super odd. Like gravity felt stronger somehow. Energy work helped. Yes. So just know there's like a lot going on. Okay. So here is the chart of this new moon that's coming on Friday. It's actually happening at 1:42 p.m. Pacific time. And so that's 3:42 p.m. 4:42 Eastern time. So there's a bunch of stuff going on with this moon. Let me connect it so I can write on it. I have a program that does gives me a code, and then it actually officially connects it. So here we go. Okay, I'm gonna move that guy, this guy out of the way. All right. So here's some of the things. So you can see the actual new moon right here. It is at 4 degrees of Aquarius. So the sun and the moon are conjunct. That's how you know it's a new moon. This moon is actually, the actual aspects to the new moon are with Uranus, which is squaring the moon, and it's also sextiling Chiron and black moon Lilith, who is sort of this like the independent female or the independent, feminine of the charts. There is a trine from Uranus to the south node while Jupiter is still conjunct the south node. This also correlates with the Chinese New Year of the Rat. So the next day, the 25th, is like the beginning of the year of the rat. And the Chinese New Year is around this time. So we are starting a whole new cycle in the Chinese New Year. And the year of the rat, I'll talk about it a little bit, but in a minute when I get to that point. But the year of the rat is like that Jupiter and Capricorn energy, which is very much getting ready for success and taking the little steps to get there and being prepared. It's really about being prepared. Venus is also making a bunch of aspects. It is conjunct Neptune. It's not exact. It will be exact in a few days, which is a really beautiful it's a really beautiful aspect that we're all going to experience, and getting closer to Valentine's Day, and because Valentine's Day is like it's love, and this is this reminds me of that energy, like Venus and Neptune for sure. But Venus and Neptune are conjunct, not exact, but conjunct during this moon. Venus is also squaring, where's Mars? He's squaring over here. So it's getting all mumble jumbled right there. But squaring Mars, she is also sextiling Jupiter. She is conjuncting Venus, also trining the North Node. And yeah, so those are the main aspects that we're going to talk about those in detail in a moment. So when I talk about, this new moon, this new moon is ruled by Uranus because it's in Aquarius. And we know that Uranus has been in Taurus since May of 2018. It's actually going to be in Taurus for 7 years. Aquarius is the sign where we can actually put aside our emotions, like detach a little bit from our emotions and begin to look deeper into the mind for practical solutions. This Aquarius energy helps us to detach from our emotions enough to see them clearly, to see things clearly. You can be a little too detached as an Aquarius if you are an Aquarius or if you have an Aquarius moon. And the reason is because you sort of intellectualize your feelings, kind of like Geminis do. Because Aquarius is also an air sign. So you kind of intellectualize your feelings, and Aquarius is also a fixed sign. So it's kind of stubborn in that way. It doesn't really trust its emotions, but the emotions and the feelings are there. It's not that Aquariuses are not emotional. They just intellectualize your feelings. So it's different energy when it comes to processing your feelings. During this time, you have to be true to yourself, and you have to be willing to see the truth, because that is what Aquarius is about. You have to see the truth in order to understand it. Hey, Stephanie, not to judge people or to judge yourself. Aquarius has that really big perspective of life. It's always looking towards the future and how we can improve it. Aquarius doesn't give up on the future. It is always like optimistic about the future, about the fact that things will always be better in the future. So this is a time for us to look towards the future with like big perspective, big eyes, to receive a vision and a quest towards a new world, or an inspiration to create something new, something that has never been done before. That's the energy of this new moon. This new moon is special because, like I mentioned, it coincides with the Chinese New Year of the Rat. It's the young metal rat. So there's always like a yin or a yang when it comes to the Chinese zodiac. When it's yin, it's feminine. When it's yang, it's a very masculine energy. So this is a very masculine energy, and it's also a metal energy. which can be a little bit like Mars-like, in the sense of like Mars and Aries-like, in the sense of like it can be impulsive, and it can be sometimes a little bit like there's too much conflict, because it just wants to do and go, and a little bit like, yeah, impulsive is a good way to describe it, but it can be a little bit like too excited about it. However, I think this is an energy that really matches what we're shifting into, because this year is literally the beginning of an entire new cycle. The Chinese zodiac begins all over again with the rat, and the young metal rat is filled with courage and a readiness to face anything that comes its way. And so for us, because of that very young masculine energy, we have to know when to be patient and wait for the opportune moment. That reminds me of I love the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and how Jack tells Will, does he tell Will? No, or does he tell Elizabeth? I don't remember. He tells one of them, like, you think it's Will. You need to wait for the opportune moment. And then Will keeps messing up and like missing the opportune moment. Well, it's like being ready for the opportune moment. I think that there are many great things ahead. Just like we've been talking about 2020. Literally, it's a new world beginning. It's the Aquarian age. And this new moon is actually a glimpse at that new world. And on December 21st of 2020, so next winter solstice, Jupiter and Saturn are both going to move into the sign of Aquarius, and they'll be at 0 degrees. And that officially marks the beginning of the age of Aquarius. The age that like so many people and healers, they've been talking about for years and years and years, since before 2012, since the 60s, the 80s, like they've been talking about this transition of the age of Aquarius for a long time. And we've been waiting for it kind of like with like big eyes since 2012, when the Mayan calendar ended. So this is a time, this new moon is it's like we're at a time where it's like, okay, it's time to focus on the future. Like it's time to focus on new life, on the new world, and understand that we are the ones building the new world. So you can't build a new world with old ideas, and you can't build a new world with your old self. It has to be your new self that creates a new world. We're literally the ones we've been waiting for, and why we've been doing all the work is so that we can finally start creating a new world. So we have to stop waiting for someone else to figure it out for us. We have to stop waiting for someone else to do it, to take action. We have to stop waiting to receive the answers from outside of us, and start to look for the answers from within, and to trust ourselves and to trust our own inner guidance. If you've ever met somebody that was born with the moon in Aquarius, they have very strong intuitive and psychic powers, because they are the water bearers. Aquarius is the water bearer. It's also the sign that deals with the Kundalini energy, like that electrical energy that moves through our bodies. And that's the energy that charges us up to create. When you move from chakra to chakra, it's like elevating, it's like going through and elevating your consciousness. You start at the root level, and then you end up with this expansive sort of vision of the whole universe. And that's what Aquarius rules, like Uranus in Aquarius, right? And so we're being charged up to create. And there is a really strong open-mindedness that comes with the moon in Aquarius that we can all tap into with this new moon. The most important thing we must do is to see the truth, and also the irony, and also the ego underneath it all. And we have to transcend it by connecting the dots and finding the thread that links it all together. When we do that, we'll know exactly what it is that we must do next, right? What action to take next. So this is a vision of the future that we're receiving. So what I would highly recommend that you do on Friday, and what I think I will focus on in the ceremony, is, doesn't matter whether I end up doing it Thursday or Friday, but I want to focus on having a vision. So we'll probably do a journey where we visualize the future. How about that? Let's do that for the ceremony. So we're actually taking in everything that we can from this actual new moon. The Aquarius moon literally opens up a portal for us to travel to the future. Whether you do it through a vision, or whether you do it through a dream, or whether through astral travel, it will allow us to become our own prophets. And so we need to have a vision of the future. You can't be a prophet without a vision of the future, because prophets tell of the future that's coming. And that's what this moon is about. So let's talk about a couple of the actual transits that are going on. We'll talk about Uranus first. So Uranus is over here squaring the new moon. And remember that Uranus just went direct with the last full moon in Cancer. It was like a few hours after the full moon in Cancer, Uranus went direct, electrifying everything and making all the planets direct, being the last planet to go direct, which means that right now everything is direct. There's not a single planet that is retrograde right now, you guys. This is unique. It's special. It's special time. And that's why I think for some of us, it's like things feel like they're moving really, really fast and we can't catch up. We're like trying, but like it's like we're flying full speed ahead. All systems go. And that can be very intense. Saturn has also just passed Pluto. That major conjunction, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, Saturn finally passed over Pluto. And so the breakdown of the old world has begun. And we are now on a journey into the future, into the Aquarian age. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight, you guys. These transits, especially with the outer planets like Pluto and Neptune and Uranus, they're transits that last for years and years. Pluto is going to be in Capricorn until 2024. Uranus is in Taurus for 7 years, and it went into Taurus in 2018. So it's 7 years long. So this is a long-term transition that speaks more about society as a whole and humanity as a whole. This is like a generational shift that we're in the middle of. So what you'll start to see more of is the old world breaking down and the new world coming into place. But you have that's what you have to hold the vision. What's coming in place of the old, right? Wormholing, exactly. You have to remember that. A square from the moon to the planet Uranus is like an activation of perpetual motion. With the moon in Aquarius, which is the ruler of Uranus, this is an electric activation. It's like jump starting your car after it's been dead. All of a sudden, with a spark of electricity, it's like up and running again. It's very stimulating, it's very exciting, but it tends to be sometimes restless and really high strung. So if you're having a hard time focusing, you need to give yourself time out to meditate and refocus your energy. Uranus is like an electric storm. And you know, planes avoid electric storms. You know what I mean? Like thunderstorms and stuff like that, because there's a lot of electricity. That's like what Uranus is. So you want to actually harness the power of the storm instead of letting it overpower you. That's what this is about. Uranus also trines the south node, which is conjunct Jupiter. So this is at the same time as the new moon. The south node is in Capricorn, and the south node right now represents the old world. And it's conjunct with Jupiter, which is magnifying that energy. So we're getting a glimpse at the future, right, with Aquarius, while at the same time being shown the mistakes of the past, or where you came from and how you got here. Uranus is actually inspiring us to keep moving forward. It's like with the car battery example, the battery has been dead, but with a spark of electricity, it is reignited and we are re-inspired to keep moving forward. In this case, because the aspect of the south node is a trine, and trines are somewhat positive aspects, it's okay to look back at the past as a way to learn from it and know what mistakes not to repeat. It's actually important for us to understand this, because without knowing where you come from, how can you know where you're going? Right? So like you have to be able to look back and say, I've come this far, I see it. Because if we have amnesia of the past, we'll keep repeating the same mistakes. This goes with a lot of, I've been listening to a lot of videos about like narcissistic abuse and abuse, emotional abuse, and all kinds of abuse in relationships, which I think we've all been, it's kind of like rampant, right? This like energy of like narcissism in our society is a little bit rampant, because I think society tends to sort of promote it in a way, you know, like social media and things like that. I think they promote us wanting to feel the most important and the best and all of this stuff. But besides that, you can use social media for a really great purpose, but I think that it does tend to kind of bring out that like sort of negative side of us, that narcissistic side. But it's only until you realize what you're doing that you stop those cycles. But a lot of us that are, right, Sparky, a lot of us that have been there, unfortunately, understand the process of healing from such a relationship. And if we forget the past, you can move on from the past, but it's still a stepping stone towards your future. So this is the time not to go back into the past and get like recycled through the past, or go back to like old relationships or anything like that. This is a time to just take a look and see, look how far I've come, and I know that why I'm here, and I know my next step forward is away from that old self of mine and towards healing. And that's another opportunity that this moon brings for us. The other aspect I wanted to talk about is Chiron and Black Moon Lilith sextiling the new moon. Exactly, Amanda. So I think that Black Moon Lilith, she's this one over here, she's like the free feminine, right? I think that Black Moon Lilith and Chiron are showing us something powerful here on this new moon. Chiron in Aries has been teaching us how to heal the wounded ego, our wounded ego. And Lilith is teaching us how to finally stand up for ourselves. So first, your ego, you have to let the ego die or be hurt. A better word is actually humbled, in order to learn to stay out of the way. The ego has to become humble, because the ego always thinks it needs to be in charge, and it needs to be like in front, and it needs to take over, and it needs to like take action and stuff, but it actually doesn't. A lot of times the ego, what it needs to do is just take a back seat, show up when it needs to be used. It's become a servant of the soul. It's like show up when it needs to be used, but then step aside when the real work is getting done. The ego can't really do the real work. The ego can only help you like differentiate like between who you are, where you begin and where other people end, and things like that, right? Because you have to be able to take care of yourself. And you wouldn't know that unless you felt that you were important enough to take care of, right? Of yourself. So healing our wounded ego is realizing that the ego does not and could not possibly have the answers to our healing, because the ego always puts itself first. But our ego is not our spirit or our soul, and our soul understands things at a much deeper level than the ego. So the ego death that we have been experiencing, or that you may be experiencing right now, some of us are ahead. Like I speak of the collective as the energies that are going on, but some of us are like way ahead on the path. Not that that's better. And some of us are like a little bit delayed. Not that that's worse. It's just we are at different points along this path of ascension, but all of us, I think, are becoming more and more aware in a very powerful way. So if you have already been through this ego symbolic death, you're ready to heal with Black Moon Lilith. She will teach you how to speak and finally stand up for yourself, but from a healthy perspective, not an unhealthy perspective. Because remember, the ego has to step aside for the soul to take over and the real work to begin. So what is this really about? This is about releasing our victim mentality and stepping into our power. Hey, Michelle. Chiron sextile the moon is the perfect portal for understanding how your emotions can either hinder or help your spiritual progress. But you have to see it, right? You have to like see it. You need emotional maturity to see this, however. And unless you've actually lived it, it will be really difficult for you to understand what's going on. That's why remember last time I said we have to study and we have to really dive deep into things. We have to know what's going on. And the only way you're going to know what's going on is if you dive deep into study. Like, take yourself to school. I don't mean go and sign up for a university or go sign up for a program unless that's what you're inspired to do. I mean, go look for the answers, not just from one source. Look for the answers from many different sources and find the one that fits, you know what I mean, your understanding, and that you can actually relate to, because that's your intuition guiding you towards that. This transit is also about karma, you guys. To truly heal, you have to understand through empathy, not sympathy. And that's a hard one, because a lot of us like to be martyrs. We like to say, and that's a form of narcissism too. I don't mean to be harsh, but when you feel like you have to sacrifice yourself for others, and that is the only way that you have purpose, it's really not a way to live. You shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself for other people, right? But some of us have, because of the abuse that we've had or what we've learned, we think that martyrdom energy, that like giving yourself up for someone else, we actually think that it's beautiful. We think that that's love, but it's not love. That's not the kind of love that will take us to this future that I'm talking about. Those kind of relationships are over. Those are over. You have to have compassion, not pity. Once your compassion turns into pity, you've lost your ability to heal and help others heal. And that's what Chiron does. Chiron helps us heal so that we can then become healers ourselves by example. Your feelings are your allies. So if you understand how they work, they will help you a lot. And this is what this specific transit is teaching us. And it is very fitting with the fact that this moon is in the sign of Aquarius, that naturally is detached from its emotions. Not ignoring them or feeling like they're not important, but just detached enough to be able to use your head. You know what I mean? We can get lost in our emotions, but we need to use our mind, use our head, right? And see things for what they really are, like not be afraid to face what's really going on. It's okay. The other aspects, the last aspects that I'll talk about with this moon are Venus. So those are pretty much what's going on directly with the moon. But this Venus-Neptune, I think, is important too. Venus and Neptune in Pisces, it is what's bringing that compassion and that deep understanding on this new moon. So hope is not all lost. Like, love is still here. Pisces is a loving energy and a compassionate energy, and Venus is the planet of love, and Neptune is the planet of dreams and creativity. So they're bringing this energy to it. They're showing us the way of the heart and saying that staying connected to our heart as we get this glimpse of the future is so important. It's where we'll find our creativity and also the good fortune, because they're sextiling Jupiter. And then also the desire to go all the way, the square to Mars. This is to commit fully to a path that is important to you. And it's a theme, let me go back to me on the screen. It's a theme that has been going on for a while. I watched a video, I think that it's important to talk about relationships, I think, right now. I watched a video, it was the Leo King and this girl, she calls herself what's her name? She's the practical witch or something like that. Sarah? No. Oh my God, I don't remember. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But they were talking about relationships, right? And I think that we have a misconception of relationships. And I think right now we're transitioning to a new way of looking at relationships. Because the focus, like I said, it has to be on, Stargirl. Yeah, thanks, Karina. So the focus is looking forward, right? Yeah, I didn't finish watching it because it was really long, but I want to finish watching it. But I really liked what they were saying. They were just basically giving a list of things that will help you realize whether you're on like they were calling a destiny relationship, referring to like twin flames or soulmates and things like that. I think the word twin flame just like brings up too much stuff. I don't really like that word. I think that there's ways to describe relationships, and I don't think that's one of them. I think that when you're in a destiny relationship or a purpose-oriented relationship, or a relationship where you are with someone who is actually here on a mission with you, not against you, that you don't have to drag along with you, that you don't have to force to become something that they're not, that actually they are that thing on their own. That's true mission and true like that connection, right? But anyways, that's kind of like a topic for a whole nother thing. And I do want to have this conversation as one of the Conversations with Spirit podcast or episode. And I would love to bring Jason in to talk about that as well, because I know that he's been through a journey that he calls, his twin flame journey. But anyways, relationships right now are a big deal because I think we're all really confused when it comes to relationships. I'm talking like collectively or generally. I think there's a lot of people that want that sacred relationship, but they haven't really been doing the work themselves. You really cannot have one of those relationships unless you know who you are. You can't be in that kind of relationship unless you absolutely have like faced your fears, or in the process of facing your fears. Know what your purpose is. Know that there is something that you came here to do, and you're actively seeking to find that answer. It is in that space, I promise you, it is in that space that you will find your truth of whether you are here on a journey of, working with someone very specifically who is a soulmate relationship, someone that you feel you've known for many, many lifetimes and you've come sort of together to meet and work together, or whether this is someone that, and it just happens to be like a romantic relationship. But you know what, you guys, a lot of times, something that I agree with is that relationships that are soulmate and that you work together with people, they don't always have to be romantic. I think when we bring the romance into it, we get lost, right? We let, this is so, it's like the opposite of Aquarius. We get lost in the emotions instead of seeing the bigger picture. But right now, it's time for us to see the bigger picture of all of our relationships. And if there's relationships in your life that just don't align, then what's the point of spending any more time on something that is just not aligning, not going to align? Like, you shouldn't have to change someone and make them become what you want them to be. Right? That's in general. Let me see what some of you guys are saying, because I know this is kind of like a hot topic. We need to put our oxygen masks first before we put on our companions. Yes, I agree with that. The scapegoat programming at its finest. Yes. Did you see the Leo King breakdown 2 to 3 days ago? I also started watching that one, but I didn't see the whole thing. I'm so glad I found this channel. It's so unique amongst all the other astrology tarot. Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate that. I am self-partnered. I am focusing on my inner work right now. I went into mission and purpose, and I'm literally doing all the things from the list except looking for a partner. Well, there you go, because that is what, you know what I mean? That's, if you feel that that's what you're supposed to be doing, then that's what you're supposed to be doing. So, yeah. Anyways, you guys, this is a powerful new moon. It is Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is like one of those signs I think it's looked at in sort of like this weird way or like weird energy, but I think there's a lot that you can take from the Aquarius energy that is very important. I mean, we're moving into Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is leading us there. So think about that, right? Like, what does that really mean? The journey, and here's what I think, right? So the journey that we've been on is the journey where we hear this in lots of different cultures and meditation gurus and teachers and ascended masters. It's like, this is what Jesus taught. He taught Christ consciousness, which is heart consciousness. So it was about moving from the head to the heart. And that's the journey that we've been doing. But it doesn't end there. That's not the end of it. Okay? The journey finishes when you go back to the mind. With the knowledge that you've gained from seeing the world through the heart and being able to be in your heart space all the time, right? The water energy. But then where does it end? Where you take it back to the mind, and then you begin to create a new world with heart consciousness. That's the water bearer. Like, that's the age of Aquarius. The water bearer. Like, you hold the water, you hold the heart. And that's the most important, because we can't live without water. We can't live without the heart. We can live without the emotions, but we need to protect it, right? We need to understand it with the mind, but first with the heart. And I think that's why this is us moving into the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius being an air sign, but also the water bearer. Like, there's symbolism everywhere, you guys. And if you dig deep into it, you will see a lot of crazy things like pop up that make so much sense. We're becoming the water bearers of ourselves, holding our water, like holding our heart and holding space for that and allowing it to speak and knowing how important it is, right? Water is life. And at the same time, like using our mind, a practical mind, to come up with solutions for the future, innovative ways to live, new things, right? To create. Nice, Alexa. I love that. The vessel holds truth and wisdom. Ooh, I love that, Joe. Yes. It's not real love if you want to change someone. Exactly, Mel. It's not. Unfortunately. And I that's a lesson that we all learn the hard way. And like I said, you won't know until you experience it what we're talking about. That's why you just got to go through it. You got to go through it. Just had this conversation, mind, heart, back to mind. Nice. I love that, Wendy. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys about this new moon. It's kind of a pretty powerful one. We're done with the eclipses, but we're on with it, like it's time to keep moving forward. And this is moving forward into a future, a new way of being. We're done with the old, right? Out with the old, in with the new. That's what we're doing. So I'll leave you guys there. I will see the moon goddess. Oh, beautiful, right? When I said that, the 33 people in the chat. So I will see you guys in the moon goddess training, all you beautiful women that are signed up on Thursday. And remember, there's still time to sign up. Until Thursday, you can still sign up, and the details of how to sign up are in the description of this video. So I'll see you for the new moon ceremony as well. And just look out for it either Thursday or Friday. I'm traveling Friday, so if I end up uploading it, you'll know. You'll know what's up. Just look out for it. You're welcome. You're welcome, Stephanie. You're welcome, Dawn. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And thank you, too, for your support on this channel. All right. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Get ready for this new moon. We'll do a visualization of the future in the full moon ceremony. And yeah, let's just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. All right, love you guys, and I will see you soon. Sat Nam.